Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining the course today. And I would like to thank Dr. Supanika for inviting me to give the lecture today. The topic is how to do research in microeconomics, tips and research development example. First of all, I'm not that good for doing research in microeconomics. Just something that I'm interested in, and I'd like to share to you the beauty of microeconomics. Also, something that we can apply microeconomics to do research. We have to start with the passion of doing research. Why? Because it is a beginning of life. In German, we have three words: Forschen, Glauben, Leben. Forschen is to do research, to research. Glauben is to believe, and Leben is to live. It means that we do research to have something, the truth, to believe and live a life along with that truth. So believe in something, and the belief of us comes from research, and we live our life with that belief. These three words influence me a lot in doing research and also to live my life. If you have something misunderstood or unclear, then we have to find out answers. And a scientific way to find out those answers is to do research. Research is not like finding the answer by something that we think of and without evidences, but by scientific method and with evidences. So those evidences convince not only yourself but other people that is the truth, that is true for that circumstance or true for that condition or under those assumptions. Therefore, we can believe. It is not just we can believe, but can truly believe that is true, and we can live our life with that truth. And we are sure that that way of living is good enough for our life. Those are research. Those are something that we would like to do next to this class, especially in microeconomics. I hope that you enjoyed the class, and I would give you the research development example of doing the research in microeconomics. Let's proceed next to our class. I divided the class into 5 chapters. Chapter 1, passion of doing research. Chapter 2, keep it simple. Chapter 3, sense of industry. Chapter 4, hot topics in microeconomics. And Chapter 5, the application of microeconomic theories to hot topics. Let's go to have a look what I have prepared for you in this class. Enjoy. In the first chapter, I would like to emphasize to you that doing a research, you must have passion. What does it mean? Passion is something that you are wanting. It is not just I want this, I want that, but you truly want that thing. And it is not I want to have it to be your belongings, but want to know. You are so curious and you doubt whether it is that or whether it is another thing. You doubt whether it is true or false, and you doubt which way or which one you should choose for your life. When you walk a street and find something around you, perhaps it is so simple or normal or common for you to look over those things. But if you walk along the street and look to the left and to the right hand side of the street, and you may have questions, you may be curious, you may think, why it is like that, why it is like this, why it must be that, and why can't it change to be something else? Your curiosity will lead you to find the answers. And if you design the way of finding the answers scientifically, then it is research. So, if you don't have research passion, you cannot find the answer because you don't have question. If you look around you and, oh, yeah, this is good enough for me, oh, this is as it is, and I'm not curious why I have to change them, or let it be, I don't want to change anything, or okay, I don't want to know why it is like that. The nature sets it like that, and okay, let it be. Therefore, you don't have question, and you need no answer. Then you cannot, or you need not to do research. Why? Because you don't want the answer. The life is good enough for you. The life is not so curious or not so cruel to change. But if you walk around the street and find something, oh, why this is so bad of the PM 2.5? Oh my God, why Chiang Mai is like this? I imagine that Chiang Mai is so beautiful and not covered by the dust. Why it is like this? What is the source of problem? How can we solve this problem? Who should be responsible to this problem? And what can I do to suggest the solution to this problem? Because I cannot bear the situation anymore. I want to find out the answers how to solve the situation. Then let's think of the solution. Let's think of the answers. Let's think of the way out. And find something that truly solve the problem, then you are on the way of doing research. And when you walk along the street to the next step, you see food, street food, good. But do you think that this is good enough for people to have them for food? I mean, not just for filling the stomach, but for good health, for the sustained life, for long life, for healthy life. Is the food good enough? Is the food poisonous? They are cheap, delicious, but may not good enough for health. So, is that true? Perhaps it is good enough for health, but you don't know. You just imagine that it is not good enough because it is just the street food. You have to study. You have to do research. You have to think about the safety of food that comes from the street. If you are interested in this food safety, then you are on the way of doing research. Next, when you walk along the street and you find, this is a shop, and that is another shop selling something similar. Do they have profit? Or do they suffer loss? Because they are in competition and no one can have profit because of those severe competition. You don't know because no one comes to tell you, yes, I have profit. Oh no, I'm lost. It is not like that. You have to study. You have to do research. You have to find out the answers. And after you have the answers, what you can do next? In a role of an entrepreneur, you may think of, if I come into this industry, I will suffer the loss, so I decide not to come in. Or if you found that, a lot of excess profit is there and they share a lot of profit together, there's a room for another firm entering this industry and sharing the excess profit. Then you design a business model to come and share the profit. So the answer of the profit and loss will guide you to enter the market. You can see that these pieces of information are valuable. If you know about that, then you may be very rich, or you can prevent yourself from being poor. You see that this big company is registered in the stock market of Thailand, and it can be classified as a tycoon in energy industry. However, there are many questions about the prosperity of this industry. They extend the businesses to the cafe, the Amazon cafe, is located in the gas station and managed by the same company. Why they have to make decision like that? Why they have to extend the business to the cafe? Why not just selling gasoline and ignoring other products? What is the trend of the market? What is the preference of consumers? What would the consumers spend their money for? How can we collect the money from the consumer's pocket and make them our revenue? Besides, how to control the cost and make the revenue profitable. It is very interesting to look around businesses. I guess that this is the most popular shop in Thailand that you must buy something from this shop, the 7-Eleven. When we take a look at 7-Eleven, we know that there are many shops, 10,000 or more than that. However, if you think about the profit, I have heard that the profit is very slight. And why the shop has to expand the branches a lot and suffer from just a slight margin or so little profit? What do they think? Why they have to do this? This is the curiosity that you may have. Someone may answer it in one way, and another one may answer it in another way. When we think of a new business model, when we shop online and the delivery service is very famous. You see, we have Grab, Food Panda, Curry Express, Lineman, many things that it is the new career in the future. So businesses link to workforces. And this relationship changes the world. When I was young, I cannot dream about being a rider for Grab. But now, if you don't have a job, you can apply to be a rider for Food Panda to do the food delivery. This is very interesting. So, you may begin to do research in a very simple way. Just looking around you, all the industries around you, and you may be curious about them. The revenue, the cost, the profit, the preference of consumer, the choices of consumer, the decision of consumer. Or you may begin with the very simple thing at the assumptions of the market. When you study perfect competition, we have one assumption that is very strong but must be assumed. It is the identical product. Identical product is exactly the same. The product which is exactly the same. In reality, do you think that you can find something that are exactly the same? The identical product? I guess not. However, doing research must deal with reality, but to apply the theory. How can we do when we study theory that assumes the identical product for the perfect competition? But in reality, we just find something that are not identical, but perhaps similar. And we would like to know whether they are competing in the same market or not. We can do it in a simple way to measure the degree of similarity. It is a simple way to begin to do the research. Please proceed next to Chapter 2. Keep it simple, and I show you how to do research in a simple way to calculate the degree of similarity. Let's go next. You can see that it is hard to find identical product in reality. Therefore, it is hard to classify markets whose assumptions are reliant on identical product. If we relax the assumption just to be similar products, what would happen? In doing so, we have to find degree of similarity of products. We know that they are not identical but similar. But how much similar they are? We have to find some ways to identify the degree of similarity. Before defining the degree of similarity, we have to think about substitution between products. Two products are substitutable when the usage of them are similar. It means that you can use this product instead of that product, and you feel nothing different. Even though the signs, the colors, or the designs of the products are different, but as long as their functions are the same, when you feel nothing different when you use these products, they are somehow similar. Therefore, the first thing that we should consider about the degree of similarity is the function of the products. The second thing that we should consider for the degree of similarity is the feature of the product. Features describe components of the products. Products with similar functions may have different features. The third thing that we should consider for the degree of similarity is the feeling when we use the product. Feelings in using products are human factors describing how human feels when using that product. The combination of these three F's, functions, features, and feelings, create a market segment. And we can separate market segmentation by these three F's. Therefore, when we analyze a market, we don't analyze the whole market, but a market segment. Then it will be easier to find numbers of firms in that market segment, and it is clearer to identify the types of market for that specific market segment. In summary, to a difficulty of identification of the types of market because of identical products, an economist may not analyze the market as a whole market, but separate them into smaller segment or market segment by identification of 3 F's, which are functions, features, and feelings. All of the products or services can be separated into smaller market segments, and it will be easier to know how many firms there are in that small market segment. Now, in a specific market segment, when we can count the number of firms in that segment, we can classify the types of market more correctly. If there are many firms or many sellers still there in the market, we can be sure that that segment is perfect competition. In contrast, if we can find just only one seller in that segment, we can think of a monopoly. Then you see, if that segment is belonged to just only 2 firms or 2 competitors, it is duopoly. Moreover, if you can count more than 2 firms, but not many, it means that that segment is oligopoly. However, if you still find many firms in that segment, but offer differentiated products, you may think about monopolistic competition. Economists have their own ways to determine the relationship between 2 products and decide whether they are competing or not. It is called elasticity of cross demand. The elasticity will show the relationship between the quantity of a product to the price change of the other product. It is in pair between 2 products. The idea is that when the price of one product is up and the quantity of another product is up too, it means that consumer consider that both products are competing, and they switch consuming the more expensive product to a cheaper product in relative. However, if both products are not competing, the change of one product's price will not affect the quantity of another product at all. It means that if an economist can find a product whose price is related to the quantity of another product, then an economist can ensure that both products are competing and they are similar in this sense. Even though we separate market segment by 3 F's: the functions, features, and feelings. But in calculation, the degree of similarity must be shown by a number. And the idea of elasticity of cross demand may be a good one. The elasticity of cross demand can be presented as the percentage change of quantity of product A by the percentage change of price of product B. It means that by a 1% change of the price of product B, it affects the change of product A by how much percent? If it is not zero, and if it is positive, for example, 1% or 2% or 3%, it means that product A and product B are competing and they are in the same market segment. However, if the elasticity is zero, it means that the price change of product B cannot affect the quantity of product A. You can see that the relationship does not exist. They are not competing. And we cannot count both of them into the same market segment. You can see that the elasticity can be 1, 2, 3, or more. This number will identify the degree of similarity. The higher the elasticity, the higher degree of similarity. And the higher degree of similarity means that both products are in the same market segment because they are strongly competing. We can ignore some products that are written substitutable, but we should focus more on a pair of products that's strongly substitutable and strongly competing instead. In summary, the 3 F's and the elasticity of cross demand will help you a lot in identification of times of market. It is very easy to do experiment in economics. Today, I will apply microeconomic theory to the experiment, and I show you it is possible to do a small economic project by yourself. First of all, you have to find some substitutable products at the same price. Here we have Coca-Cola and Pepsi in bottles and cans at 15 baht. Perfect. Now, we have them all here, and we can compare all of them in pairs. They are in the same function because they are carbonated beverage, but they have different features. For example, in packaging, the bottle and the can, the colors of the logo, red and blue, and maybe the slogan. Yeah, you may like the slogan of Pepsi more than Coca-Cola or vice versa. We will do an experiment to find the degree of similarity between pairs of them and calculate the elasticity of cross demand using our formula. Here we are at the Telecommunications Economics Research Center, TERC, to do this experiment. Follow me. Yes, you are right. There are 15 baht the same at the beginning. Then you let him or her to choose the favorite one. After that, you raise the price to be 20 baht, and then look what product he or she will switch to. That's it. And you do this for 100 people. Okay, let's go. That's it. You have all the data here, and then you have to calculate the elasticity of cross demand using the formula. Make sure that you understand the formula, and then you calculate first the percentage change of price of the product, and then the percentage change of the quantity of other products that the consumers switch to. And then use these two numbers to calculate the elasticity of cross demand. Very easy. Let's do it. The most interesting thing here is that you can do this kind of small economic project by yourself. And you can apply microeconomic theory to do experiment. It is easy, fun, and a little bit or somehow powerful. Thank you very much, TRC. See you again. Join us in other experiments. Thank you. Here we are, the results of the experiment. Experiment 1, Experiment 2, Experiment 3, and Experiment 4. The 30 persons who choose Coca-Cola in bottom to switch to other products. And here, there are 30 persons who chose Pepsi in bottom, then switched to other products. Here, there are 20 persons that chose Coca-Cola in can and switched to other products. And last, these are 20 persons who chose Pepsi in can and switched to other products. The numbers of the switching can add to the original number of 30 persons or 20 persons who chose those products originally. And then we add the number together and find out the rising quantity of the products. You can see that when the price of the major product in focus is up, then the quantity of other products that can be switched to is also up, but at the different degree. These numbers can calculate the elasticity of cross demand. All the elasticities are calculated, and you can find the relationship between those similar products. The higher the elasticity, the higher degree of similarity. Look at the relationship together. Very interesting. You look at some pairs of products and you will find, wow, these products are very close. They are almost perfectly substitutable. You will not know that if you don't do the experiment. These numbers come from the experiments. Very interesting. It is a small but powerful experiment. You can do it. I hope you enjoyed class and see you next time.